essentially for the plenary. But most of, like the clerk of the house has stated, most of the house, like 60% to 70% of the house are done by the committees of the house. They are about to take evidence. Section 129(1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended gives power to committee to take evidence on matters of the house. Section 129(1 for the purpose of any investigation under Section 128 of this Constitution and subject to the provision thereof, the House of Assembly may, or a committee appointed in accordance with Section 103 of this Constitution shall have power to A, procure all such evidence, written or oral, direct or circumstantial, as it may think necessary or desirable, and examine all persons as witnesses whose evidence may be material or relevant to the subject matter. B, require such evidence to be given on oath. C, summon any person in Nigeria to give evidence on any place, at any place, or produce any document or other things in his possession or under the control, and examine him as a witness and require him to produce any document or other thing in his possession or under his control, subject to just exceptions. And D, issue a warrant to compel the attendance of any person who, after having been summoned to attend, fails, refuse, or neglect to do so. We have seen these instances at the National Assembly where committees have invited some functionaries of executive arm of government, and some have refused or failed, and then they have resorted to these or similar parts of the sections of the Constitution by actually compelling them, acting in Inspector General of Police to cause their arrest. So the House has such powers. Functions of Committee of the Legislature. The general functions of parliamentary committees includes consideration and an amendment of bills. Every bill which definitely have to go through the committee system, through the committee. There's a committee stage. So committees perform that function of consideration of bills. They will look at the bills clause by clause and then furnish their report written by their clerk. The chairman will furnish the report at the plenary. Then 2, inquiries into matters referred to them by the House, investigation or clarification, and sometimes administrative functions. House committee also perform quasi-judicial functions. I want to pause here to cite an experience that I had. My colleagues and I, some of us, we transferred to the legislature around 1992. So when we came, I was given a quarters at Yagno. When I entered that quarters, I found that there was a big electric bill that was served on that place. So the moment I entered that place, NEPA came and then they cut off the light. And I looked at the bill. You know, salary that time was so poor. The bill was about 17,000 that time, but it was good money. You know, how much are we earning? Maybe 2,600 or so. So I had to run to the committee of the House, Committee on Public Petition and Judiciary. I know that committee did very well. They invited NEPA, they invited people who had lived in that quarters before. Even some of them that are transferred to Osho State, you know, Astrop, somebody in the University of Ibadan, Dr. Asti, they invited all of them to the committee, and then they took their evidence, and then they compelled them to pay those bills. And I was relieved. I can never forget that experience. So the committees of the House, you know, you can actually represent, you know, the legislature very well by being very functional. If you do that for members of the public, they will regard you and they will love you. Because I'm a beneficiary and I'm grateful, even up to today. But that time, you know, I would have been living in that darkness for so many, only God knows. So that is that. So the committees perform quasi-judicial functions. Committee will initiate new legislation, attend to their studies. We want them to have preparatory classes after school. You can amend the education law regarding, in that respect, or any other matter that calls for amendment. Number 4, committees are to hold meetings regularly to deliberate on bills or other matters referred to it by the House. The committee could also organize public hearings in order to obtain inputs from members of the public, especially on bills that are of public interest. So there are bills that, because the public also participate in your legislative function, in your lawmaking function. So there are some bills that will interest members of the public. That's why after first reading of the bill, it should be published in the Gazette or in the Journal of the House, so that any interested member of the public, when you announce, the committee announces a public hearing, they can come and attend such a public hearing. And it also registers the House as one that is working in the interest of the people. Number 5, the oversight function of the legislature is usually carried out through the committee system. The committee monitors the execution of government projects and programs to ensure that the public fund is expended for the purpose for which it is appropriated. I've explained that before, that it is your onerous duty, because there is nobody else who will monitor the executive. You are in position, you are in power to do that for people of your state. That's why I started that incident of the Indian legislature, even since 1921. I had a public accounts committee. Actually, in some legislatures around the world, they put opposition member to be chairman of that public accounts committee, so that it can be more effective. God will help our whole system here too. Number 6, House committees are to submit reports, including recommendations to the House. 7, it is important to state that committees are not empowered to take any decision on behalf of the House. So committees, even though they have so many functions to perform, they cannot take decisions on behalf of the House. They have to come back to the full House, the House at plenary, so that that decision will receive the blessing of the House. Then types of committee, number 7. Committee types vary from one state to the other, depending on administrative system and available resources. Generally, there are 5 categories of committees. 1, ad hoc committees. These are limited episodic bodies created by resolution for the purpose of undertaking a particular task, such as investigation or a study. Members are ordinarily appointed by the presiding officer. After such a committee has made its report to the chambers, it is disbanded. This usually comes up during the earliest part of the House, before committees are put in place. So Mr. Speaker may see need for an urgent task to be done, and then he will announce another committee to quickly address such a task, and then report back to the House, and then the stands are resolved. Number 2, special committees has a semblance of standing committees and sometimes transform into 1937, page 165. So we're talking about special committees now. In relation to other types of committees, special committees are usually based to conduct inquiries. The special committees, according to Order 16 of the Standing Rules of Western Assembly 2023, are Committee on Selection. So these special committees have wider powers, and they do more work. They must meet every week. I don't say how they will not, except the House is on recess. They will meet every week to discuss the business of the House. And then Committee on Selection is responsible for putting members into committees. Then Committee on Public Petitions. I'll give you an example of the onerous role that such a committee can play in attending to petitions from members of the constituency, which they will have submitted to their representative in the House of Assembly. Then Committee on Ethics and Privileges, okay, responsible for discipline in the House. Then Committee on Media and Public House. Then Committee on Media and Public Affairs. That is, no matter how well you perform, if you don't proclaim your own activities, then members of the public will not know that you are doing any work here. So the Media and Public Accounts Committee must ensure that it sees to what is going on in those ministries, and they look at their projects, they look at their programs, and then they monitor their activities so that they can also perform well on their own side. Standing committees use the same procedure as the committee of the whole in conducting their meetings. They meet in the public. They have neutral chairmen. they examine bills and other matters in much the same way as the House does. So when the committee is in session, the committee chairman is like the speaker there, and he takes control of affairs of his committee. So the committee chairman performs roles ensuring fair play and exercising decorum and discipline. So the committee chairman must have studied, if it's a bill that's referred to the committee, must have gone through the draft bill very well. If it's in doubt, he can contact the legal department of the House or committee clerks who are experienced. They will be able to assist him. Then, because anybody who's in leadership has to tower a little bit above those that is leading. So if there's a matter and then he himself does not know what the bill